This is Bad Popp here. I got some bad news for you ladies out there. Gonorrhea! No. Because it's been a while since I truly bashed on you feminists. All good things must come to an end. But what am I saying? This is great material. Avalanche of Stupidity, winning. Why don't you open up that big fat beef and cheddar and a catcher's mitt and get ready for the schlonging you're gonna take. Yeah. You know, I assembled this off the internet. It's basic searches on feminist fails or failed feminist ideologies. I came up with this list. And some of them went back all the way like 2011, 2009, so bear with me. First of all, I find this one really reprehensibly nasty, okay? And it's called free bleeding. What do you think? And get a tampon or a pad or something. That is just nasty. How about next time you're sitting on a bench free bleeding, I drop towel and free shit on you. All right, now this one is absolutely hilarious because this actually started as a prank to prove how stupid you guys really are. And it's the free pissing phenomena. That shit is hilarious, you idiots. And hundreds upon hundreds of you women actually pissed yourself in public and walked around and took pictures of it. If that doesn't prove you feminists out there are nothing but a bunch of stupid sheeple, I don't know what to tell you. You guys on Reddit who came up with this prank to fool the feminists, I bow to you. You're my hero. All right, we've done several episodes on this whole rape culture bullshit. This is why you keep fabricating numbers and changing the definitions of sexual assault so you can justify your existence here in the Western world. Women are safer now than they have ever been in the entire human history. So you manufacture problems to be a super victim. Hey, what do you say about this one, you bitches? And of course, you know, me and many people like me who say the rape culture doesn't exist here, we're labeled rape apologists because we don't buy into your bullshit. Asking you for situational awareness and a little responsibility for what you're doing out in the real world is not apology. It's called responsibility for yourself, period. You drive your car down in inner city Detroit and you leave it unlocked and it gets stolen and all your possessions go with it. What do you think the police are gonna say when they come up on the scene? Did you lock your car? Common sense, that's all I wanna know. They're not apologizing or nothing. Those police are still gonna run your car down and do everything they can to find it. But hey, when they drive off, they're gonna call you an idiot. Using little girls to drop the F-bomb to further these lies was just an epic fail in my book. This one bugged me. Oh my, I remember I saw that, I was like, this is insane.
That sexist shit.
And here's another side note, I can almost guarantee that every one of those little girls who played part in this were from single mother homes. Here's another golden goose of feminism we're gonna take a big huge dump on, and that is the wage gap myth. It doesn't exist. If I could pay a woman 75 cents on the dollar to do the same job a man would, I would hire her in a minute. All the women would be working and all the men would be unemployed. But that's not what's going on here in the real world. I want you to go out and Google the Rust Belt and why it exists. I'll tell you why. Because all those jobs were outsourced to another country because it's cheaper. Kiss my ass. Trying to ban the word bossy. And thank God we live in a country when less than 20% of the women actually identify as feminists because they knew that was absolute bullshit. It's brainwashing. Now, I'm gonna be honest, okay? When I'm sitting down chilling, I don't sit down like I'm at church. I lounge, I spread my legs, I kick back, I do my deal. And guess what? F off if you want me to change. If you spent any time on a subway, which I have in New York and Chicago, people basically sit like that. That's people spreading, not man spreading. If some dude is taking up 2 seats or he puts his bag in the seat next to him, yes, that is a valid complaint. But if they're sitting back just lounging, let them be. Fighting over multiple genders. This is just absolutely stupid. You built all these genders and you're fighting amongst yourselves over who can use what bathroom? Bruce Jenner? He won Woman of the Year and he's got a penis. And guess who did that? You did with all of this bullshit. Who's the transphobe now? Winning? No. This one here is one of my favorites. Because before I kick my air addiction and I leave this world, I actually want to see this go down in person, and that is slut walk. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if a bunch of dudes were walking naked down the street, guess what would happen to them? They'd wind up on the sexual predator list. This whole slut walk thing is a way to stand up against men with your tits hanging out. Are we really gonna complain? Hell no. I'll always go look at some fun bags, no matter how low they droop. If it was me, I'd walk through the crowd, eat my popcorn, occasionally rip off some tape, because I want to free that nipple. And if there was a bullseye on the target of stupidity, this would be it, where they say,
both genders are physically and mentally equal.
Because in reality, they're not. Now, I'm gonna make a comment here about the military. They've opened combat to all the women, which I think is kind of not good, but we'll wait to see, because playing Russian roulette with people's lives over a social experiment is really not that wise, but that's just my opinion. Hashtag free the nipple. They want nipples on Instagram. Isn't that great? Well, you can have at it and show your nipples, because I'm certainly not going to fight that trend. Free porn. Winning. So you have some turbo dork somewhere working in NASA, right? And he actually flies a probe to land on a comet traveling at 78,000 miles an hour through space, and everyone yells at him because he has a hula shirt on. Shut the fuck up. That is absolutely insane. They took one of the greatest scientific achievements that took place in this century and broke it down to naked women on a shirt. Hang on. I'm tasting the irony here, because they said he was asking for it because he was wearing that shirt. Stupid. Raping Christmas gifts is patriarchal oppression. Wrapping Christmas gifts, patriarchal oppression. Idiot. This is just one person in the whole army of stupid feminists, but she still has her job, and they're paying her. What a waste of money. I don't normally do this, but these are some fight-picking words. All right. Jessica Valenti's husband, whoever you are, why don't you tell me what it's like when your significant other has a bigger dick than you? Making classes for men on how not to rape. You're already getting raped in the bookstore by paying, 400% for your books. You're getting raped in college because they're making you take courses that you don't ever need or use. And now they're going to add an additional class on there on how to not rape women. And we can even add more to this lunacy, because over here in America, they're trying to make mandatory classes for the quote-unquote white privilege. Get the fuck out of here. California just passed the yes means yes laws. The yes means yes thing says she has to give consent during the entire act. And at any time during a sexual act, she could say no and it's rape. She can actually instigate the entire thing and it could still be rape. Basically what this is these radical feminists are trying to ram legislation through the system which bans due process for dudes. Basically, you're guilty until you prove innocent, unless you videotape with audio every sexual encounter you have with a woman.
You should never need proof for any rape victim under any circumstances. What they say goes.
That's funny you should say that, because you raped me.
No, I didn't. You can't prove it.
Not that it matters, because according to feminists, women can't rape men. Basically, this point here summarizes all of what I'm talking about, that feminism is trying to remove logic and reason from the real world. Google Twitter harassment. In Canada, the feminists are trying to throw a man in prison for basically disagreeing over Twitter with a feminist. Mean tweets become harassment, and women are claiming PTSD, and you don't call them back the next morning, and all of a sudden you're a rapist? Dudes, quit playing the game and just walk off the lot. Now listen, I'm not going to say that feminism had no right to ever exist. First and second wave feminists actually had a legitimate beef. Now the third wave feminists, they really don't have a beef like that to go with, and that's why you have all of this. Because what they're really doing is become super victims, wanting entitlement, and crying, wah. They were actually trying to add to the wheel of domestic violence logic. Now you sit down with your wife and you're having a logical debate about how much money she's spending and how you can't afford it. Guess what you just became? A domestic abuser. She's gonna pick up the phone, call 911, and you're going to jail for using logic on your wife. Thank God this one is old and it dropped off the radar and went away. Just imagine what our system would be like if we ran on thoughts and feelings. But wait. So basically what I'm trying to say, gentlemen, the time has come to smack all of this bullshit down using facts and domestic violence. I mean logic. Listen, I don't know about you, but when 1 out of 5 people is trying to dictate how I think, feel, and what I can do, I only have one response. F*** you. Edit that out. All right, with that being said, I hope you brought your snowsuit so you can dust off all the shit from this avalanche of stupidity. And if you have any free time when you're not fighting over what gender you are, why don't you check out our links below on our Patreon and PayPal page and send us a couple bucks so we can keep doing this. Hey ladies, while you're at it, hit the subscribe button, because guess what? Next time when I'm on the subway, I won't manspread. Maybe I'll let you sit down next to me. Okay, like, well, first of all, you ever watch the movies and they show a rape scene?
Yeah.
That is way too much work, man. I'm just not into that. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna have a TV dinner and go watch Space Ghost, and you can just f off, because this is stupid. Or you have them chicks who are like, oh, could you choke me a little bit? Like, no!
No.
I'm not choking you.
No, that's physical.
That's physical evidence, man. You crazy? Like, first of all, if I put the choke on you and I don't perform at an 8 or above level, and you're dissatisfied tomorrow, you can say I raped you, and you'll have ligature marks around your neck. That's not gonna happen. There's no way.